Hey guys, welcome to section 1, module 2, the 7 densities of reality. So I like this model of creation as opposed to the dimensions model. So this model of creation came to me through Bashar and Ra, the law of one material. They both use it. And so the issues with the dimensions of consciousness reality is that no one seems to really understand it. It seems to be a bit like flaky and airy-fairy and really not nailed down in science, although I'm sure there is some reality to it, and of course there's some reality to it. But the idea is that the 7 densities model of creation, it's very like scientific and structured and makes a lot of sense to a scientifically oriented mind like myself and like a lot of you guys, some of you guys maybe, I'm sure a lot of you are more the arty side. So the idea is that the 7 densities of creation are thus. First density is the idea of rock, mineral, and elemental life, the idea of earth, air, fire, and water, and the elements. And it's kind of the first experience of consciousness in physical reality. It's the most densified form. It's as we incarnate as souls, or as coming into a physical experience. I guess for a lot of us, we can choose to incarnate like literally in first density and spend billions of years. I don't know if we have all done that in our souls, but for many entities, this is the journey. And so the idea is that first density is about experiencing existence in its pure form, the idea of I exist. And the idea that rocks are just being, and they're just being there. And all things in creation are conscious, because consciousness is the nature of reality. And so rocks just exist for billions of years. And this is consciousness wanting to explore the idea of just pure existence, just pure beingness, just being. And so as consciousness begins to evolve, it begins to move, it begins to grow. It's experienced the idea of beingness, of just existence for billions and trillions of years, but it's grown. It's learning the understandings of existence, and it's beginning to want to explore further. It's learned everything it can know about pure existence, and now it wants to begin to explore reality and move, and begin to explore the idea of creation through movement. And so we see this in the idea of the manifestation of crystals. Crystals are actually grow. So this is the beginning of, this is like the enlightenment of first density, becoming a crystal. And so as crystals evolve further, at some point they go through a quantum leap of consciousness and evolve into second density. So second density is the realm of plant and animal life. And so as consciousness evolves to this level, it's beginning to explore the idea of movement and growth and exploration of reality. And these beings are still very they're not self-aware in the way that humans are self-aware. They're not aware of what they're doing. They're not aware of their ability to make choice. They're still very one with creation, and this is why animals and pets and that have such beautiful vibrations, because they're still tuned into source consciousness. They're still one with source consciousness, and they're just naturally moving in flow with creation according to the natural principles of creation, which is abundance and life. And incidentally, this is where we're heading in fourth density to activate this flow state within ourselves, where we're heading, but from a free will perspective, from the understanding we are doing this out of choice and we are aware of our reality. And so second density is about exploring movement, and the final lessons of second density is the lessons of understanding free will and individuation and personal identity, and kind of beginning to move into personality. And so we see this in pets. Like pets will be like very highly evolved souls in the second density realm that are beginning to move towards the evolution into third density and beginning to take on the idea of self-awareness, of I exist as an individual consciousness, I'm aware of myself and aware of my ability to make decisions. And they're not at that level yet, but they're just beginning to seek it. And like when we give them names as humans, like and we keep calling them a name, over time this begins to shift their consciousness into the understanding understanding that like I am a separate consciousness, separate from my reality, and I can react with my reality according to my choice. And this is the transition into third density, the density that humans have been in for many thousands of years, that we are now shifting out of into fourth density. So the idea of third density is the idea that we understand we are like individuated consciousness and we have the ability to choose. And I guess this is the idea of the Garden of Eden, where and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. It could well be the idea that as we evolved from second density to third density, we stepped out of the Garden of Eden. Because in second density, as animal and plant life, they're just one with the bliss of creation. But as we evolved into third density and became aware of the ability to choose good or bad and polarity, we where was I? So this is the idea that we evolved to this new consciousness, perhaps in the Garden of Eden, where we had the idea of choice. And so the exploration of the lessons of third density that humanity is going through at the minute is the lessons of choice, and the lesson to choose whether we want to align to the love, light, service to all, service to creation polarity through love and service and nurturing and compassion, or if we choose to go down the negative path and like manipulate people and gain wealth through like fear and control and manipulation and all the negative stuff. And so that is the choice of third density, and we can actually evolve into fourth density through both paths if we like choose to be like totally committed to like being pure evil and manipulating people. Like that's a valid expression of creation, and we can actually evolve into fourth density of the negative polarity. And this is the idea of demons and negative extraterrestrials and these controlling beings. But we don't really need to go into that, because I'm sure you guys are well devoted to the positive path now. And so the idea is that we have this choice, and as we make this shift into fourth density, as our consciousness grows as humans, we become aware that we create our reality, and we can create love, light-based realities, or we can create fear, chaos-based realities. And it's becoming more polarized and more obvious that we have this choice as we accelerate the transition into fourth density, as we are doing at the minute, and the frequencies rise. These choices are becoming more polarized, and we're actually splitting into two significant realities, like fourth density negative and fourth density positive, with many great scales in between. And so I know you guys are all on this side, but we want to be getting right up this side to the super high frequencies and the super high love, light, compassion realities. And so that is the choice. And so as we move into fourth density, we realize that we are beings of energy, and all our chakras have unique consciousnesses to them. And as we move into fourth density, we realize we are actually a heart-centered consciousness that operates in a very different way to how the ego-based, fear-based consciousness of the solar plexus and the lower chakras operates. And so just quickly, because it's not that relevant for this course, apart from the fact that we will be interacting with these higher dimensional beings, the idea is that fifth density, so fourth density, where we're headed, is the realm of the Yael and the Shikani. And so some very highly evolved extraterrestrial beings, but they still have physical bodies. Fifth density is the realm of non-physical beings, non-physical consciousness. So they don't have physical bodies. And fifth density is very much an inward, an exploration of your own consciousness and going inward. Kind of like a yogi meditating in a cave experience, but you don't have a physical body, so it's even deeper. And so we tend not to interact that much with fifth density entities, because their exploration is not so much oriented towards interacting with other civilizations. However, as we move to sixth density is the completion of the learning of fourth density, service to others through love, and fifth density, the wisdom of self-introspection and understanding of the universe. So as we evolve into sixth density, we have all the wisdom of the introspection and the knowledge we've learned from going deeply within in fifth density. We have the knowledge of our heart-centered service, living in the heart, because the densities are related to the chakras. So fourth density is connected to the heart. And so we have the knowledge of pure love and just wanting to love people and help people with pure compassion and do everything we can. But then this is balanced with the infinite knowledge of the universe that we learn in fifth density. And as we evolve into sixth density, we blend the two, and we are able to serve on a much higher level because we really understand the nature of reality and exactly what every action is, how they are affecting people. And sixth density beings, there are sixth density extraterrestrials who, such as Ra, and sixth density Pleiadians. So sixth density do not have physical bodies, but I believe they can take on physical bodies to interact with us, and they do from time to time. And so sixth density is really like the last level of the exploration of consciousness. We've realized when we reach sixth density that, like, we understand everything about the universe. We've learned everything we can for our own personal growth, and we realize the only thing left to do, realizing that we are one consciousness, is serve other beings in our own reality. And this is why there's many sixth density entities, such as angels. Angels are very high; they're at the highest octave of sixth density, just before we merge into seventh density. That's why there's all these beings here to serve us, because that's the purpose of their life, and that's what they love to do. And the idea of seventh density is the idea of merging with source, the idea of the crown chakra, and the idea of like becoming one with creation, and the idea that we actually become God, we become source. And at some point in here, the universe completes. We have learned everything we can. We become the universe. We realize we are the universe. We have learned everything we can in this universe. And we implode back on ourselves into the absolute void of nothingness in completion, and birth as infinite myriad new universes. So, thank you for listening to Module 2, guys. I'll see you in Module 3. Bye.